Peter Manuel was a Scottish-American serial killer who killed 7 people across Lanarkshire and southern Scotland between 1956 and his arrest in 1958. He is believed to have killed 2 more victims. The Scottish media gave him the nickname the Beast of Birkenshaw. Born to Scottish parents in New York City, the family moved to Detroit, Michigan before returning to Scotland in 1932 to Birkenshaw, Lanarkshire. During his childhood, Manuel was bullied, and by the age of 10 he was a petty thief. At age 16 he committed a string of sexual attacks that resulted in him serving 9 years in Peterhead Prison. In 1955 he successfully conducted his own defence on a rape charge at Airdrie Sheriff Court. Manuel was convicted in 1958 of 7 murders. 1 was thrown out of court and 1 committed in England was attributed to him. Anne Nealons, aged 17, was killed on the 2nd of January 1956 at the now removed East Kilbride golf course. She was stalked by Manuel, raped and bludgeoned to death with a length of iron. Manuel would confess to the murder 2 years later. His father gave him an alibi at the time. Marion Watt, aged 45, Vivian Watt, aged 16, and Margaret Brown, Marion's sister, aged 41, were all shot dead in their home on the 17th of September 1956 by Manuel. At the time, he was on bail for housebreaking. Marion's husband was the main suspect, but he was on a fishing trip 90 miles away at the time. At Manuel's trial, his defence team argued that Manuel committed these murders as well. Sidney Dunn, aged 30. Manuel shot Dunn, a taxi driver in Newcastle, on the 8th of December 1957 while looking for work in the city. Dunn's body was found on moorlands in Northumberland, by which time Manuel returned to Lanarkshire. Manuel was never tried for this murder as it happened in a different legal jurisdiction. However, 17 days after his hanging, a coroner's jury concluded Manuel had murdered Dunn after a button matching Manuel's jacket was found in Dunn's taxi. Isabel Cook, aged 17, disappeared after leaving her home to go to a dance at her school on the 28th of December 1957. Manuel stalked, raped and strangled her and buried her in a nearby field. He would later show the police where he buried her body. Peter, 45, Doris, 42 and Michael Smart, 10, were shot dead in their Uddingston home in the early hours of the 1st of January 1958. After the murders, Manuel stayed in their house for nearly a week, eating leftovers from the family hogmanay meal and even feeding the family cat. Manuel was tried in Glasgow High Court, where he sacked his lawyers and represented himself. He was unable to convince the jury of his innocence, and he was found guilty of all charges against him, except for Anne Nealons, which was dropped due to lack of evidence. On the 11th of July 1958, Manuel was hanged on the gallows at Barlinnie Prison. His last words are reported to be, "Turn up the radio and I'll go quietly." He was the 3rd last criminal to be executed in Scotland.